Hey skaters, thanks a lot for tuning in. This video is going to be a short one, but it's also going to be an important one. I am going to look at the one most common mistake and most important thing you got to fix that I see in 99% of all inline skaters. You all kind of push at the end of your push instead of loading and starting applying pressure right at the beginning of the push. So in this video, I'm going to use three different tricks that you need to think about when you're out skating so you avoid this mistake and that you can push right from the beginning. Because trust me, no matter how strong you are, if you only push at the last 10 or 20% of your push, there's no way you can keep up with the best skaters in the world that are pushing throughout the entire push. So there's three things. First of them, make sure your hips are tucked in. Don't lose your butt backwards when you push off. Next thing, make sure your upper body is pointing straight forward. Don't let it fly out of position and don't let it move before your body follows it. And then finally, the third thing is that you need to be skating onto your next push. Don't fall onto it, because if you're falling down on something, you can't really push against it. And then we come back to the same issue. You're just gonna roll in until the end of the push, and then that's where you're trying to catch up by a little jump kind of thing that's just going to push you out of position. So I'm going to show these three things while I'm commenting on what I'm doing so that you can think about it the same way and try and figure it out on your skates so you can skate faster. First thing I just said is that you need to make sure your hips are tucked in under yourself. So center of gravity right underneath here. This sounds pretty easy and I'm sure a lot of you can do it if you try. However, the hard part here that a lot of skaters, me included, is struggling to perform correctly is that when you're skating and pushing off to the side, your butt kind of tilts backwards while you're tilting forward. Just to show you what I mean by that is that I see a lot of you having a good position, keeping this under yourself, pushing to the side, and then when this goes backwards, the hip flies up, and then you're losing that position. And of course, if you lose the position, you're skating like this, you won't be able to apply pressure with this leg. So you need to be in that same strong, solid position throughout the entire skating movement. So whenever you put your skate down, you can start pushing. Let me just show you how it shouldn't be. No bouncing up and down. Think of this as your power box. As soon as you set it down, you can start pushing. All right, that was the first thing. Next up was what I said about the upper body. If your upper body is out here, you can't push to that side. It's physically impossible. So that needs to be dialed in and coordinated with the skating. Therefore, your upper body should almost be on the top of your skates. So whenever you're there, the upper body follows. You shouldn't move ahead of the skates, because then again, you're not ready to push on this leg and you're just gonna be skating until the end of the push and then try and jump off. So the upper body should be in sync on the top of your skates. And then the final thing that I mentioned is that you want to make sure you're skating onto the next stroke and not falling onto it, because if you fall onto it, you're not in the position where you're ready to push. Skate onto it, so as soon as you put the skate into the ground, all your focus, all your energy, and all your pressure is going to be on that skate, so you start developing force from the very beginning of the push. The best way to learn this is to think of it as if you're skating onto it, as you're trying to push your hips forward. You don't actually have to put your leg forward. That's not going to be smart in any way. But think in your mind as if your hip and this leg is like going forward. Shouldn't be tense, but you should have a little bit of pre-tension in the leg. So go onto it and then there you start pushing. And you think, if I start pushing right at the beginning, the skate is going to fly out. Not if you have your hips tucked in a correct position. If these are solid, if your upper body is not moving out, if you got point 1 and 2 on point, then you can go onto the skate and then start pushing right away. That's it for now. Try this out at home. You can go through these drills. I don't know if you call them drills, if it's just a few mental key points that you should have in mind when you're skating. But trust me, this can make you a lot more effective on inlines and ice skates as well. So try these out. It's a few tips. If you have other ideas for videos that I could try and make in the future, let me know in the comments. If you liked it, like it, and subscribe. Check out the other videos. They're pretty okay if you ask me. And then I'll just see you for next time. But I just published my brand new sprint training plan. It's a 12-week plan for anybody looking to improve their sprints or their top speed on inline skates. So if you want to get better at skating, you should definitely check that out. It's in the description. There is hours of video material, and I will guide you through the everyday workouts.